dream with anyone. She's made it through heaven, she's made it through hell. It's just another story to tell. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights, making up a bar queen on the phone in the great big boulevard, the place she belongs. It's just another story she tells. Have you ever felt you're missing the dream? Have you ever wished your life was like the movie on the screen, filled with heartbreaks and fights through Hollywood nights, through Hollywood nights, through Hollywood nights. You always looked after me, brother, when we were children. You always had my back. You took all the blame when our father caught us doing things that drove him mad. Through the years I could lean on you when I messed up. I'd call you in the night, but I broke too many promises and we split up. Though I still need ya, you gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I got into this awful spot. I don't know where it ends, so I could use your helping hand tonight. I wanna say that I'm sorry, I got sidetracked and I left you in the cold. I've seen your side of the story, I felt the drawback. My mistake took its toll. Finally, I have realized I was dead wrong. I wasn't thinking straight. No more lies, and from here on out I'll be better, 'cause I still need ya. You gotta save me now. I'm slipping so far down, it's only you I trust to set me free from this. I don't know how I
From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your phone, cause BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart, it's the heart.
Fantastic and awesome and incredible nights of the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood and the lives they are changing all over the world. It is. Wow, I don't know why my screen is doing something funky with my dating here. Let's see if I can bring this back up. There we go. I don't know why. For some reason, I had my old date on there. It is the 19th. That's right. It is May 19th, 2022. This is episode 135 of this here program. It is Thursday night. Thank you guys so much for being here with me, hanging out with me. Man, I'm looking forward to tonight. We have some new merch to talk about, a couple of new events. If you happen to be, say, in the Maryland area or a couple different places around, I want to encourage everybody to get out there, do some good stuff. Tax checks hopefully came out if you're here in the States not too long back or whatnot. So you got money in your pockets maybe to burn to buy some charity patches for different things, maybe, who knows what. But anyway, here I am scoping other people's products. But that's what we're here for. Tonight, I'm going to be talking with one of our brothers from across the other side of the world down south in Australia. Of course, I'm talking about the co-captain of the NSW chapter, Mr. Matt. He's talking with us a little bit about what's going on down there. And then also they've got an event, a very cool event coming up that they're going to be doing, a charity item. And then they're a charity project in addition to a new merch item that they have just released out to raise money for said thing. So we'll be talking about that in just a little bit. As always, we have people in the live stream. We're going to be acknowledging them in just a second. Oh, by the way, we got some cool chapter news also coming up. Some of you have seen some of the stuff if you've been paying attention to the world of Instagram in the last, I would say, 48 hours. You may have heard about some of this stuff. But hey, if you didn't, if you're too busy, then I am here to educate you on said events. That's what I'm here for, boys and girls. That's what I'm here for. Sometimes I make myself laugh. Good evening to everybody here live with us. Mr. Mars is checking in with us. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Can't wait to get up to Canada in just a few weeks. Hang out with the boys up there for the Beards for Bucko event. Looking forward to finally meeting in person some of our brothers up there. Big Mike's in the house as well. Mr. Ramsey is hanging out with us too. He gave me some good tidbit of information, which I will share here shortly in the comment section as well, live. Good evening. Mr. Nick, Reverend Nick is in the house hanging out with us as well. Rob is here from BVLA. Always hanging out with us. Mr. Silky Smooth. That looks like somebody from my chapter. Mr. Seth. Seth might be here in the house hanging out with us as well. Radar is always here. He just sent me something about Saturday, another event. I love the pop-up section in our live stream, the comments section, because people are notifying me of things last minute. It always keeps me on my toes when somebody pops something on here last minute while the countdown timer's going on, and I have to try and jump over to a different screen while the live stream is going live and try to do some editing real quick. So I was able to get a couple things done. I'm getting good at this this last second stuff. Every once in a while it wonks out on me, but looking okay. Donald Duck. I'm not. That's a new one for me. I'm not exactly sure which brother of ours that is, but see, when you use your YouTube names, I just don't know. Ty, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. Good to see your pictures out there. I know you're still recovering. It's a long process, buddy, but we're praying for you and getting stronger every day. Love to see it. Let's see who else we've got. K Mac BV K. I always sound like I need to be groovy when I say that. Good to see you here as well. Matthew, Mr. Spanos is here. Of course, he is going to be checking us out because we recorded an interview earlier. It is morning time over there with him. He is working on a Friday morning. He has promised not to tell us exactly what is going on in the future, so we don't know. Is Australia, David's asking a live stream question here, is Australia getting mail from the States yet? I do not know that, but maybe Mr. Spanos can let us know. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. Maybe he can let us know live. If he does, it'll be in the comments section, Dave. Check it out. All right. So, guys, it's been a fun week for me. The weather's been getting a little nicer, and I've been able to get some projects started, some little tiny projects started and completed around the house. So this is always, like I said, an interesting time because, as you know, if you as the weather turns and it gets to be springtime here, if you have projects outside the house and whatnot you want to try and get accomplished, you have a daily schedule that you are used to and a weekly schedule of things that you do. But then now with the weather getting nice and you're back outside, you have to add all that stuff into it too. So you have to manage your time appropriately. And one of the things I know that I've been very bad at the last couple of years, I have a few things like trying to get a garden set up and trying to clean out the garden from the previous year and then get things planted. And I had a really nice garden planted last year. I planted way too much, so it was super overgrown. And I don't think I may have pulled a couple of tomatoes or cucumbers out of it, but that's it. Everything else just died and rotted in place because I never got to it. I was a terrible gardener last year. But I'm hoping that in the next 3 or 4 days, I can get that thing scraped out, started back up, and planted again so I can enjoy that, at least the attempt to be a gardener this year. We'll see. I planted some grass seed today. Well, I didn't plant it, but I spread some grass seed, watered it down. Hopefully the birdies won't grab a hold of that stuff in some areas that I need some grass to grow. But yeah, it's been an interesting few days, just trying to stay on track. The kids are going to be out of school in about a week, so that's going to be fun. Fun for them, less so probably for us. Lots of sleeping for them, but suddenly you have all that free time that I had during the daytime to get things done and not have to watch over children. That's gone. So I'll have to let the older ones watch the younger one while I'm trying to get things done. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But you don't need to hear about all my problems, all my stuff. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here. I've got some merch and I've got some chapter news information to get into before we get into the meat and potatoes of this here episode. So let's, what do you say? We get into some chapter news first. How does that one sound, huh? Okay, so chapter news. Earlier this week, we learned the news that Germany, we had the Bearded Villains Germany chapter. We no longer have a Bearded Villains Germany chapter. Why is that, you may ask, if you haven't been paying attention? Because of this. The Bearded Villains Germany chapter is now but one of 3 chapters in the country. That's right. Germany split into 3 different chapters. Very cool to see the growth And anytime you get a chance to, spread your wings a little bit and maybe refocus your efforts in specific areas where there's groupings of guys, it's a little easier for smaller groups, more localized groups of bearded villains to be able to make a difference in the area. It's awesome to see. So please help me welcome the two newest official chapters that have come from Germany. We still have Bearded Villains Germany, but now we also have Bearded Villains Southern Germany and Bearded Villains Northeast Germany. Bearded Villains Southern Germany and Bearded Villains Northeast Germany, they join Bearded Villains Germany. Good to see it. Good to see it, guys. Hope you guys nothing but success. I know it's always exciting times when you guys start up a new chapter. I know it was for us when we did it 2 years ago. So hopefully you guys can just push through with that momentum and make it your own. I can't wait to see how things come out with chapter logos and your identity. Each one of the anytime there's a new chapter, I love to see the identity come out. What you guys create for yourselves and what that identity is going to be. So Southern Germany, Northeast Germany, welcome as official new chapters. Good to see it. Now talking a little bit about identity, right? Talking a little bit about identity. This is what I just learned about as the countdown timer was going on. Mr. Dave Ramsey, captain of the recently created, expanded Chattanooga chapter. I had the privilege of announcing and showing to everybody their logo not too long back, their new logo that they came out with. But where there's a logo, usually there's a patch, right? Where there's a logo, there is usually a patch, especially with a new chapter. Well, the time has come, and the time is Sunday. The time is Sunday. BV Chattanooga with their first chapter patch going live Sunday night on their go to their Instagram, because I believe it's going to be on their Big Cartel, he said. So hit up there, just pay attention, get over there, make sure you follow the Chattanooga page, because I'm sure they'll have updates. If you don't follow the Chattanooga page, get over there, do it by all means. Anyway, on Instagram, I'm sure he will share it as well. All the details, pricing, locations, all that good stuff. BV Chattanooga's first patch going live this Sunday night. And boys and girls, that's what I've got for chapter news. All right. Well, we got a bunch of stuff. Some of which is old news as far as chapter merch goes. But anytime we got a bunch of autism patches and autism related items still out there that we're going to be talking about. A couple of new things that you may not have heard about, or maybe if you're just tuning in live for the first time in a few weeks, you haven't heard about some of this stuff. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Got to give a little shout out to Radar in his comment. Hell yeah. New and more chapters cover more ground and spread more love. Now to have more chapters in big ass states do the same. I love it. Eyeballs and the shaky head. Absolutely. Absolutely. Very cool to see. Oh, an update. Just got an update from Mr. Ramsey. He said it's going to be on Smoky Mountain's Big Cartel. So the Chattanooga page, the Chattanooga chapter patch, the new chapter patch will be sold on the Smoky Mountain Big Cartel page. So keep your eyes out, heads up for that. And that's awesome. All right. Well, guys, let's get into some of this chapter merch. We got a bunch of it. I'm going to go through some of it a little bit fast. So pay attention. Get your pens, get your papers, get your pencils, whatever you need out to scroll through some of this stuff. And let's get it on. All right. So chapter merch. Let's going to slide right through these first few because they're a little bit older, but they're still out there and they're still great deals. So the Rocket City Autism Patch still out there. RocketCityBV.BigCartel.com. I believe they're still out there. Hopefully they haven't sold out. If they did, congratulations. Some of the stuff I try to keep in touch. I'm missing by a date or two, or I find out that something sold out in the last week, or they stopped selling it. So I do apologize in advance if that does happen with any of these things. But Rocket City Autism Patch, $12. RocketCityBV.BigCartel.com. bright, bold colors on that bad boy. Very cool to see. Swampside Villains. Hey, Memorial Day's coming up. Swampside Villains Memorial Day patch, limited edition, $15 at swampsidevillains.bigcartel.com. Swampsidevillains.bigcartel.com. Also, the Bearded Villains Miami Autism Awareness Shirt Patch Set. They got a shirt and they got a patch. The shirt's $22 and up. The patch is $10 with the villain's name and the logo. The logo that has the puzzle piece patches behind it. Very, very cool. Like I said before, many times before, I myself cannot buy this shirt because it's white. I don't do white shirts because I destroy them and get them dirty 30 seconds after I've put them on. So that's not going to be me, but hey, more power to you if you're a clean person that can do that. I have absolute respect for you. One of our viewers tonight, again, hanging out with us here, Ty, Bearded Villains, Pennsylvania East, the Warrior patch for Ty. Still out there. Proceeds going to him to take care of costs. Very cool thing that Pennsylvania's doing. PennsylvaniaVillainsEast.bigcartel.com. PennsylvaniaVillainsEast.bigcartel.com is where you can grab that thing. Bearded Villains Chicago has their American Cancer Society walk coming up, their ACS walk. So, to coincide with said event, they have a T-shirt that says F ribbon CK cancer, and also the patch to go along with it. So they've got the shirt and patch combo for $24.99, or the patch alone for $12. Bearded Villains Chicago. Hit those guys up if you want to help out with that. Very cool stuff. Bearded Villains Chicago stuff is always rocking. So hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Awesome to see. And next up on the list, we have the autism patch available through Bearded Villains ENC. $12 US, $14 international. It is PayPal. It's a PayPal. You got to go to PayPal on this one. PayPal is BV Eastern North Carolina at gmail.com. BV Eastern North Carolina. Easier for me to say. BV Eastern North Carolina at gmail.com. Next up, Bearded Villains Scotland. I checked this to make sure it's still valid and it's still up today. Pre-sale. They actually are. They're being made right now, so it's a pre-sale that the patches will be going out pretty quickly. It's to honor the very first captain of the Scotland chapter, who recently passed away. It's available at beardedvillainsScotland.com. It's their chapter patch, but it's been altered slightly to say in memory of Brian Tate. Very cool. 10 pounds for this bad boy. But grab one of those at beardedvillainsScotland.com. Next up, BV New York Upstate. You've all seen the badass glasses that they have, the tumbler things, the silicone pint glasses they got. But more importantly, because it's Memorial Day patch, the Memorial Day patch, $12, an embroidered patch. Very, very cool patch. It's a nice take with part of their logo on it. $12 for their Memorial Day patch. The new one, and we're going to talk about this, was going to be mentioned here in just a few minutes. Just learned about this one. And our interview guest tonight, Matt's going to talk just for a little bit about this. Their blue BV NSW patch pre-order, and the proceeds of this $15 patch are going to go to the event that he's going to be talking about tonight in the interview. So check one of these out anytime you get a chance to get even if it's a hashtag patch or anything else, but an international patch, you gotta love it. So grab one of these guys if you want. Hashtag BVNSW. I like the font on this one. It's unique, different. So grab one of these guys, $15, and that's going to be that. That's what I have so far on the merch table. And as a reminder, the patches for the first ever patch for the Chattanooga chapter goes on sale Sunday. That's right. All right. So we've covered chapter merch. We've covered the chapter news. So one thing I did want to mention to everybody, because I haven't said anything about it for a couple of weeks, but I did want to send out the good news. If you recall, several weeks back, I kind of started up a crowdfunding campaign for the film, the documentary film that I'm working on. And if you're going to numerous BV events over the next several months, you might see me there filming. Try to act civilized if you do. Try not to act like you're a 5-year-old and your dad's got the home video camera out. But I'm excited, and I'm excited to say that we had a crowdfunding campaign goal, and at the last minute, on the last day of the campaign, we reached and then slightly exceeded our goal for the campaign. So congratulations to all of you. Thank you so much for reaching out and for donating. Every one of you that donated. I still would accept further donations if anybody still wants to get in on, and I will honor the lower end, lower tiers, the $25 and $100 levels for the for donations if you still want to do that. But it's not an active crowdfunding campaign at this time. But hey, if you want to still donate to the film in some way, you're all available to do so by all means. And we'll get you in the credits and get you to be a part of this once in a lifetime thing for me anyway. I'm looking forward to it. It's been really fun for me so far. But okay, let's get into our interview for tonight, guys. I spoke with Matt. I've been trying to get him on for a little while. They've been kind of up and down with what they've been going through down there. I know Australia as a whole seemed to have a lot more restrictions and were locked down in general in much more strict fashion than we were here in the States for a while. So it's good to see we've been kind of opened back up for the most part for a little bit now, and they're finally getting to the point where things are getting back to normal down there as well. But they, the NSW chapter now is finally able to get back to what they know and be able to contribute again. It was difficult during the COVID times, but they were one of those chapters that still tried to find a way to do some stuff. And so I talk a little bit about with Matt about how things have been going with them, and then plans for the future and some of the events that they have coming up. Also, again, talk about their chapter patch that they're releasing. And it's just a really good conversation. Anytime I get a chance to talk, this is what this podcast is about, guys. Talking to guys from around the world. So this was another chance to do that. So here's my interview with Matt. I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Okay, I have a special guest with me today, all the way from another side of the world. I love these international interviews. It's an early morning for him, but he's here with us today, all the way from New South Wales, NSW chapter in Australia. Help me welcome Matt. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Good, thanks, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I know we've been trying to hook up for a bit here, and I know you've been mad crazy busy with everything you got going on. But can you let's just start it off slow. I know you've got an event coming up we're going to talk about here in a minute. But how's life been for you and for the NSW chapter lately?
Man, like life on my end has been pretty crazy. I opened up a new store for the company I work for, and it's been all hands on deck there. So it sort of made life a little bit challenging trying to juggle, sort of work life and BV life. But man, when you love what you do for the chapter, it's you always find time to try and keep pushing forward. But in terms of the chapter, man, look, obviously, I think a lot of chapters have found that COVID sort of took a little bit of swagger out of their step. So it's been a little bit of a feeling our way sort of through things again and sort of trying to find our stride, which I think we're doing now, which is really, really good. Like we've got our Sleep Out for Soul event in 2 weeks. A week this week, a week today, sorry. And then next month we also have the push-up challenge, which supports mental health as well. So yeah, I feel like we're sort of like starting to find our stride again, which is awesome.
Okay, so let me. I didn't know about this push-up challenge thing. We're gonna talk about the sleep out thing, but what's this push-up challenge thing?
So we did it last year. It was just something that one of the guys brought to the table, and it was really cool. I suppose with the whole COVID stuff, we had to try and find ways to, I don't know, get creative with doing some charity stuff. And it meant that we could do it from home or a gym or what have you, and not necessarily have to be all in one place at once. But it meant that we raised, I think it was just on or just over $6,000 for it was Headspace, which is an organisation which helps a lot of grassroots mental health organisations. So yeah, it was cool, and it was a lot of fun. We created a little side chat and sort of motivating each other and holding each other accountable. And yeah, it actually turned out to be a really great event, and the guys want to do it again this year. So yeah, we'll be getting ready to rock and roll come June 1st for another 3,300 and something push-ups in 24 days.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm curious about, the details about this. Obviously, it involves push-ups. So what are the specifics for it? You have to do a certain number of them, or how does that work?
So basically, each day the number of push-ups will vary, and it's to do with a statistic related with mental health.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might find that like one day is 75 and it's related to something specific. The next day might be 245
Oh wow.
specific. So yeah, there's some days where you think, when will these end? And there's other days where it's a nice little sort of respite between big days.
Oh wow. So what you find out like that day that
A planner, I suppose, of what day will have X amount of push-ups on.
okay.
So I suppose prepare yourself to some degree.
Okay, I get it. So then how is it determined how much money you're able to raise for it?
So basically, we'll just pop up our chapter link, or you can, if someone has another mate out there or brother out there that they want to donate to specifically, they can do that as well. But we'll get all that sorted come this weekend, and then yeah, I just want to focus on soul first and sort of get that as our main priority, and then once that's sort of over, I'll sort of put things out there for people to be able to support us on our push-up challenge journey.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one of those things where people donate to a page, kind of like the cancer walks or different things like that.
Yeah,
Just kind of a set amount for a donation is how that works.
yeah. So they can donate any amount.
Okay.
To the person. But yeah, it just goes towards, I think this year we're sort of looking in between two, whether it's the foundation that actually runs the push-up challenge, because I think what they do is fantastic in terms of, providing a platform to create some mental health awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And they a lot of stuff with grassroots guys, but then there's also Movember as well, which is I suppose is a close one because it's to do with males, like men, facial hair, I suppose, to some degree for some of them. And yeah, so we're sort of tossing up between those two, but yeah, we'll definitely have it all locked away and ready to go come June 1.
Okay. Well, now tell me a little bit. I know next weekend you have this sleep out thing. It's kind of cool, and okay, so I think we're going to try this again. And I don't know if anybody else is going to be on here or not, but we had a internet outage and we're back. So I'm going to start over our interview that we had with Matt. And yeah, so here we go. Okay, I have a special guest with me today, all the way from another side of the world. I love these international interviews. It's an early morning for him, but he's here with us today, all the way from New South Wales, NSW Chapter in Australia. Help me welcome Matt. Matt, how you doing, buddy?
Good, thanks, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I know we've been trying to hook up for a bit here, and I know you've been mad crazy busy with everything you got going on. But can you let's just start it off slow. I know you've got an event coming up we're going to talk about here in a minute. But how's life been for you and for the NSW chapter lately?
Man, like life on my end has been pretty crazy. I opened up a new store for the company I work for, and it's been all hands on deck there. So it sort of made life a little bit challenging trying to juggle, sort of work life and BV life. But Man, when you love what you do for the chapter, it's, you always find time to try and keep pushing forward. But yeah, in terms of the chapter, man, look, obviously, I think a lot of chapters have found that COVID sort of took a little bit of swagger out of their step. So it's been a little bit of a feeling our way sort of through things again, and sort of trying to find our stride, which I think we're doing now, which is really, really good. Like, we've got our Sleep Out for Soul event in 2 weeks. No, sorry, be a week this week, a week today, sorry. And then next month we also have the push-up challenge, which supports mental health as well. So yeah, I feel like we're sort of like starting to find our stride again, which is awesome.
Okay, so let me. I didn't know about this push-up challenge thing. We're gonna talk about the sleep out thing, but what's this push-up challenge thing?
So we did it last year. It was just something that one of the guys brought to the table, and it was really cool. I suppose with the whole COVID stuff, we had to try and find ways to, I don't know, get creative with doing some charity stuff. And it meant that we could do it from home or a gym or what have you, and not necessarily have to be all in one place at once. But it meant that we raised, I think it was just on or just over $6,000 for it was Headspace, which is an organisation which helps a lot of grassroots mental health organisations. So yeah, it was cool, and it was a lot of fun. We created a little side chat and sort of motivating each other and holding each other accountable. And yeah, it actually turned out to be a really great event, and the guys want to do it again this year. So yeah, we'll be getting ready to rock and roll come June 1st for another 3,300 and something push-ups in 24 days.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I'm curious about, the details about this. Obviously, it involves push-ups. So what are the specifics for it? You have to do a certain number of them, or how does that work?
So basically, each day the number of push-ups will vary, and it's to do with a statistic related with mental health.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might find that like one day is 75 and it's related to something specific. The next day might be 245.
Oh wow.
Specific. So yeah, there's some days where you think, when will these end? And there's other days where it's a nice little sort of respite between big days.
Oh wow. So what do you find out like that day, that how many you're supposed to do that day? Is it
No, we get once you sign up, we get like a bit of a planner, I suppose, of what day we'll have X amount of push-ups on.
okay?
So I suppose prepare yourself to some degree.
Okay, I get it. So then how is it determined how much money you're able to raise for it?
So basically, we'll just pop up our chapter link, or you can, if someone has another mate out there or brother out there that they want to donate to specifically, they can do that as well. But we'll get all that sorted come this weekend, and then yeah, I just want to focus on Soul first and sort of get that as our main priority, and then once that's sort of over, I'll sort of put things out there for people to be able to support us on our push-up challenge journey.
Yeah. Okay. So that's one of those things where people donate to a page, kind of like the cancer walks or different things like that.
Yeah,
Just kind of a set amount for a donation is how that works.
yeah. So they can donate any amount.
Okay.
To the person. But yeah, it just goes towards, I think this year we're sort of looking in between two, whether it's the foundation that actually runs the push-up challenge, because I think what they do is fantastic in terms of, providing a platform to create some mental health awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And they a lot of stuff with grassroots guys, but then there's also Movember as well, which is I suppose is a close one because it's to do with males, like men, facial hair, I suppose, to some degree for some of them. And yeah, so we're sort of tossing up between those two, but yeah, we'll definitely have it all locked away and ready to go come June 1.
Okay. Well, now tell me a little bit. I know next weekend you have this sleep out thing. It's kind of cool. And when I first heard about it, I thought that was really an interesting event. I've heard of some things similar, I think, in a few other places that guys have done. But can you explain to us a little bit about what this event is that you've got coming up next weekend?
Yeah, no. So, Sleep Out for Soul is basically run by Soul Cafe up in Newcastle, which is about 2.5 hours away from Sydney. And they basically do everything from hot meals to providing support and I suppose that middleman for rough sleepers to be able to get accommodation, legal advice, drug and alcohol abuse programs, and things like that. And they do a lot of great stuff with their community. It's something that this will be our 7th year that we've gotten behind these guys. So it's sort of become a bit of a staple for us every year, regardless of COVID or not. We've found a way to sort of make it happen. So it's basically in a car park. We bring your swag, and you just hang out and sleep at Ruffle one night, I suppose. So it's a good chance for some of the guys to get together. But the cause itself is unreal. You'll see all sorts of families, kids out there, and it's actually a really good night. It's something that we enjoy doing, and I think that's why we've sort of continued doing it. For the last, this will be the 7th year.
Yeah, that's great. Now, will there be some of the people that will actually benefit from the monies raised? Are they going to be out there as well, or is that just for the participants of the event?
It's more just for the participants of the event. There'll be people from actual Soul Cafe organisation there as well. But in terms of the people that they generally look after, I'd say it'll be just the Soul Cafe staff. I think it'd be nice to have them there, but I also don't know how comfortable they would be as well with that. So, but either way, I think it's important that this money gets raised for them to be able to continue the work they do, because a relatively small organisation, they don't get a lot of funding. So if we can, help them in some way, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's and it's. I think what you said when you kind of described it, it's a very it's one of those standout type of organizations, even as small as they are, very unique in what they do. It's not just about raising money and getting clothing. It's not just about food. It's you're talking, like you said, legal service. It's a way to make life more normal, and get them whatever they need. That's very, very cool, man. You've got a busy little bit of time coming up. You got that event, then you got your push-up thing, then you got something else going on. You said maybe around November. How's life otherwise, man, down there right now?
Look, it's good that things are starting to open back up again here. Things are pretty much back to normal again. So it's now giving us the opportunity to sort of really get back out there and start doing what we do. It's important to us. I think it's what brings us a lot of us together is the fact that we enjoy helping others. It'd be great to sort of start getting out there amongst the communities again. We're pretty far stretched. Like New South Wales is a pretty big state. We've got guys from like where I am in sort of the southern part of Sydney. They're still 70 hours away from me. And we talk about 7 hours south, and then we've got guys as far as probably 6 hours north. We cover a pretty large stretch of area. It's good that we sort of have that, I suppose, because it means that we can, although it's not always together as one big group, as much as a lot of us would like, because we are so spread out, we can sort of target a few more communities that we may not necessarily have been able to if we were all in one area. So it's good. Like I know the Canberra guys at the moment, I've got a few things in the works. It's exciting. I'll be excited to see where they go with what they've sort of got in motion. It's some exciting times again for BV New South Wales.
I just, as you probably noticed, my jaw kind of hit the floor. It's every time I know when I speak to you, and I hear this common tone every time it seems like I talk to one of our international guys. We are so spoiled here in the States with how close everything is, for the most part. Cause if I'm not mistaken, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but you just mentioned that where you're at in South Sydney, you have guys that are 6 hours one way and then 7 hours another way still from you. So
Yep.
there's actually about a 13-hour gap north to south in your area.
Yeah. Like, so if I drive to, say, Queensland, the next state, like north, it'd probably take me 14 or 15 hours if I drove.
Now just for to confirm that, and just to kind of put that in perspective, guys, anybody that's listening, keep in mind That would be the distance of somebody from northern Indiana, where I'm at, and having somebody in the same chapter down in Mississippi. I mean, it's a 13-hour drive from my house to get down into southern Mississippi, down to the Gulf. And that's what, 5 states, 6 states I have to go through. And that's the equivalent of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 10 chapters. If I were to go here in the States, it's almost 10 chapters of guys, and you guys cover it in 1 chapter.
Yeah, like if I wanted to go, say, visit the guys down in Victoria, and I drove, it'd be 9 hours.
Oh man, we are so spoiled. We don't realize. And you know, I think it's really cool. And I've said this before, so people will probably get tired of me saying it. But every time I talk to one of the guys that's one of our international brothers outside the States, and I bring this up, it gives me a lot of pride to know that there are brothers out there in chapters like yours who are finding ways to make a difference in large areas with a lot fewer guys than some of the chapters here in the States that guys are used to, when they take into consideration the number of guys per capita with the size of the area that you're trying to cover. Because I mean, you'll have states that are half the size of my state, and they branch off into 3 different chapters, and here you are with 1 chapter covering such a huge area. I I just have so much respect for what you guys do, and the struggles that you guys, the unique struggles that you guys have. I think that a lot of people here in the United States may not really fully appreciate, because for us, it's just, I can get like, on a weekend, I can decide, hey, let's get, 15 to 20 of us together. And at most it's an hour and a half, 2-hour drive for us to do that, for the longest traveled guy. And I just, like I said, I just have so much respect for you guys, and what you're able to do, and the Herculean efforts that it takes for you guys to do the same things that a lot of people here in the States do with a lot less time consuming effort, I think.
I appreciate that, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, okay. So on the 20, let's see, we got the 20, is it 27th?
27th, yes.
We've got the Sleep Out for Soul. Now, one of the things, and I will have already mentioned this by the time where this interview is playing, because it's at the beginning of the podcast. However, one of the things that you guys are doing right now that everybody around the world, or anybody listening to this thing, can help out with, you guys have is it hashtag BV NSW patch?
Yeah, past that were sort of a little bit more limited, but I think with the cause that we're sort of trying to raise money for, we've sort of done a few more than we would have in the past. I think we did a lime green one, which was in a support for, it was a Goodwill kitchen during COVID, where there was a whole heap of chefs that lost their jobs but decided that they would use that time to go and make food for people that couldn't afford meals during COVID. So that was a patch that we made for that. The red one, I can't remember for the life of me what we did that one for. But yeah, the light blue one that we've just released, the proceeds, anything sold between now and the 27th will go to our efforts with Soul. And then anything after that will go towards, things like what the guys in Canberra have got moving, sort of in the works with getting out amongst their community during the cold months. So yeah, it's great that if anyone can support us, that'd be fantastic. Just to sort of, we can continue the work that we're doing. But yeah, it's the light blue patch it's something that a lot of people, I suppose, in the patch world, they took a fancy to the hashtag BV NSW patch. So I thought, why not do one in a different colour? That's I suppose blue, sort of being a colder month, I thought the blue would work. So yeah.
All right. Is it considered is it a colder month for you guys down there?
Oh yeah, all of a sudden the temperatures have dropped real quick.
All right. So what's temperature dropping real quick for you guys? What's your average temperature right now?
I think, I'm not sure what it is now, but like last night it got down to about 4 Celsius.
Wow.
Yeah. This morning feels like it's probably maybe 9 max.
Wow. All right. Well,
Yeah.
hey, I got 80 degrees outside right now, which is I'll enjoy it for once. I'm actually warmer than somebody I'm interviewing. It doesn't happen very often. So, but man, thanks so much. I know you're going to have to get ready for your work day here. That's what that big, huge time difference does to us. But I greatly appreciate you taking a few minutes on with us. Hit me up if you don't mind, and let me know how the event goes afterwards for sure. And I will, for the next 2 weeks anyway, for sure, make sure I share the link. And anybody knows that it's going to be beardedvillainsnsw.bigcartel.com is where you're going to be able to find that patch. Very cool. Hashtag BV NSW. It's kind of a unique font. And it's $15, but that's $15 that's going to a great cause. And whether you use the patch or you end up using it and keeping it and donating it another time, it's an awesome thing to do. And it's an international patch, which there's a lot of that out there that we just seem to don't get. So, man, I appreciate it, man. Thanks for taking some time with me, and good luck next week, man.
I just want to say before I go, man, keep up the good work. I appreciate what you do. I think a lot of us do appreciate what you do. So keep doing what you do. And thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Oh, dude, it's my pleasure, man. I'm just grateful we could hook up. So look forward to hearing from you and seeing what the outcome is of this event, and man, what the rest of this future year, the rest of this year is going to have for you guys. So I'm excited for you.
Thanks, mate.
All right. Talk to you soon. Take care.
All right. Hey, mate. See you later.
All right. So that was our bro, Matt, from down. And okay, I have a special guest with me today, all the way from another side of the world. I love these international interviews. It's an early morning for him, but I have a special guest with me today, all the way from another side of the world. I love these international interviews. It's an early go to this camera here. I don't know what's happening there. All right. Hey, when power goes out, when the internet goes out, some craziness ensues, right? So I don't know what to tell you. So, but yeah, hey, let's just push this button instead. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay, I think I figured out what I need to press to get that thing off there. It's going to pop right up. Okay, I have a special guest with me today. One more time. And I will get it off here by doing that. There we go. We're back. Okay. So, guys, I'm going to slide into the calendar of events with you. And I have included the stuff that I knew about. So if for some reason I have left you out, I do apologize for that. But let's get into this here, bad boy. Calendar of events. Thank you guys so much for being here. If you're back again after the power outage or after our internet outage, May 21st. This one I just got right before we went on the air tonight from our brother Radar. There is an event called the Tim Eccles Jr. Living Memorial Fundraiser. It's a memorial fundraiser. It's going on in Maryland. There's a bunch of guys from Pennsylvania, Maryland, and surrounding chapters are going to be there. It's a really good event. It's a beard competition, and it's at 1623 Brewing is the name of the facility. 1623 Brewing in Eldersburg, Maryland. If you have any questions, I'm just going to send you to Radar. If you're going to be in Maryland this weekend, May 21st, hit them up. Beard competition, raising money for a memorial fundraiser. Very cool stuff, May 21st. Or maybe hit up one of the Maryland guys. See what happens there. May 28th, the Birmingham meet The Birmingham meet, May 28th. This is going to be at Scruffy Murphy's. It's hosted by the Bearded Villains Central England boys. Bearded Villains Central England at Scruffy Murphy's. It's the Birmingham meet, May 28th. Also May 28th, you get Beardsterdam. Beardsterdam, hosted over there in the Netherlands. Bearded Villains. Beardsterdam, always an awesome time. You know where it's at. May 28th. Then the weekend of June 10th through the 12th, we have a few different options for you. Take your pick where you want to go in the world. First off, June 10th through the 12th is the West Coast meet. If you're anywhere you want to travel to Seattle, Washington, brought to you by the Bearded Villains in West Washington and East Washington. Seattle, Washington is the place for the West Coast meet, June 10th through the 12th. That same weekend, if you're near Knoxville, Tennessee, Knox Villains, hosted by the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains, always a good time. That's the one I'm going to be at. Sorry, Seattle, you were just too expensive. June 10th through the 12th, Knox Villains, always an awesome time there. Just a weekend of fun. Knox Villains, Knoxville, Tennessee, June 10th through the 12th. June 11th, on the Saturday of that weekend, is Villain Fest 5. If you're over in London, Bearded Villains London at Gigi's Hoxton, hit up the London boys, the London chapter, for further details on this guy. It's the Villain Fest 5. They did have limited tickets, so if you want to go and you're near London or you want to go to London, hit them up first before you make plans. I'd hate for you to travel all the way over there and not be able to go. Villain Fest 5, June 11th. That same weekend is the 7-year anniversary. I think it's 7 years. 7-year, the anniversary for Bearded Villains Indiana, BVIN. They're having a anniversary party in Indianapolis, Indiana. If you want to go to that thing, it's just hit up the Bearded Villains Indiana chapter for further details. Then June 17th and 18th. June 17th and 18th is the Great Lakes meet. Great Lakes meet in Minnesota, hosted by the Bearded Villains Minnesota. It's in Stillwater, Minnesota. We got a Friday night meet and greet, Saturday beard competition. The Great Lakes meet, hosted by Bearded Villains Minnesota, June 17th. And 18th. Next up, we slide into July for Beards for Bucko. Beards for Bucko, July 8th through the 10th. This is an event that is hosted by 3 different chapters up there. Bearded Villains Toronto, OSW, and Lakeshore come together for Beards for Bucko. I'm going to be at that one too. My first international meet. Can't wait. And I know. I'm excited about international, but it's only to Canada. But hey, I'm excited because there's a bunch of guys up there I can't wait to see. Beards for Bucko, July 8th through the 10th. Then July 9th, that same weekend, but on the Saturday, Ramfest. Hosted by the Blackshire Villains. It's over there in England. Ramfest. Hit up the Blackshire chapter for all the details on this guy. July 9th for Ramfest. July 16th is Beards and Brews. Beards and Brews, hosted by our ENC guys. That's right, ENC. It's a 5-year anniversary party. What more do you need to know? Actually, that doesn't sound right. But anyway, hey, Beards and Brews, July 16th. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going on fumes right now. It's been a stressful evening. Trying to get this internet back up and running. July 22nd and 23rd is the Dog Days of Summer, spelled D-A-W-G, because it's in North Georgia, hosted by the North Georgia Bearded Villains, the Dog Days of Summer. There's a meet and greet on the 22nd, beard competition on the 23rd. Hit up your North Georgia brothers for further information on the Dog Days of Summer, July 22nd and 23rd. July 31st, we slide back over to England for the Bearded Villains Central England chapter, hosting the Kingsbury Family Meet. Central England is where you want to hit up for this guy, July 31st. Then come one, come all, August 5th through the 7th for the World Meet. Bearded Villains World Meet in Chicago, Illinois, hosted by the Bearded Villains Chicago. The BVC guys are your hosts. Looking forward to it. Had my tickets down for 3 years waiting for this thing. Everybody's been waiting for this thing. Hundreds of people will be in attendance. You need to be there too. It's going to be awesome in Chicago, Illinois, August 5th through the 7th. Any questions for details, hit up the Bearded Villains Chicago boys. Then September 9th through the 11th, there's 2 events here in the States that I'm aware of. Battle of the Beards, September 9th through the 11th, hosted by the Southern Indiana Bearded Villains. Southern Indiana Villains are your hosts in Evansville, Indiana. Battle of the Beards, always an awesome time. I'll be at that one as well. Battle of the Beards, Southern Indiana Villains, September 9th through the 11th. Also, that same weekend is the Four Corners Meet. Remember, the Four Corners Meet is the event that is for brothers only. Do not try to take anybody else. You will not be allowed. Not at all. It's the Four Corners Meet. It's a camping event. It's in Cortez, Colorado. BP does not tent camp anymore, so unless I have a camper, I won't be going to that one, so I'll have to get my hands on one. Get my hands on an RV for that one. The Four Corners Meet, September 9th through the 11th in Cortez, Colorado. And September 23rd to the 25th. September 23rd to the 25th is the East Coast Meet. The East Coast Meet. It's in Baltimore, Maryland, hosted by the Southern Maryland chapter, the SOMD boys. BV SOMD is your host in Baltimore for East Coast Meets. Always an awesome time. We've been waiting for this thing to come around. East Coast Meet was awesome last year, 2 years ago. Good times, good times. September 23rd to the 25th. I've heard big things about this event, and there's lots of people coming. You want to be there too, September 23rd to the 25th, Baltimore, Maryland. Then October 22nd, come everyone to Northern Indiana, where my chapter, Bearded Villains Northern Indiana, is hosting you for the Return of Ezra Crow. Return of Ezra Crow, October 22nd. It is a Halloween-themed beard competition and costume contest. You're going to want to be here because that's kind of awesome. It's a good time. You can incorporate your beard competition and your costume contest all in one. Same costume for both, whatever you want to do. It's awesome. We had some really good people last year with really good costumes. Pretty impressive. Return of Ezra Crow, Bearded Villains Northern Indiana, October 22nd. Mark the date. Further details should be forthcoming very soon for this guy. And that is the calendar of events that I have for you right now. If I, for some reason, missed something that your chapter is doing, please hit me up and let me know so I can get it on the books, because I'm sorry and I apologize. I don't know what to tell you. I hate when that happens. I don't like to leave anybody out. So that's what I've got so far on the agenda for any events that's Bearded Villains related at all for our calendar of events. So guys, get on it. Get on it. All right. Well, guys, you know what this means. We've come to the end of our program, even in 2 parts because of an internet malfunction. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do, right? Guys, I want to thank you guys for being here. If you were here for part 1, part 2, or the whole thing in a normal podcast platform, thanks so much for being here. You probably won't even notice that there was an issue. I'm going to try and edit it just like that. Guys, I want to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I tell you every week, please remember them well. Please remember that it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Well, guys, have a great night. Have a great weekend this weekend coming up. Have a great Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. I will see you back here next week, next Thursday, for episode 136. Until then, guys, take care, stay safe, and cheers.
From the start to the finish, go hard and we win it. It's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard.